The following is the heartbreaking story of a man who is struggling with his mental health after being emotionally manipulated into transition by his partner. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
I was coerced into transitioning by a now ex-partner with a fetish. I want to clarify that I am not anti-trans. I know others may disagree on here, but I do have a firm belief that sex and gender are separate things. I do not consider trans people delusional. I have a personal belief that a concept of gender that has zero relations to social roles or physical sex exists, maybe a kind of essence, something more spiritual, or maybe an unexplored part of biology. A brain can map the body as one sex, but the body can be born the opposite. I don't plan to argue this point. My situation seems quite different from the vast majority of people on here, but I don't know where else to go. My ex-partner had a very blatant feminization fetish. They themselves weren't particularly respectful towards transness as a whole. I was in a very dark place at the time and stayed with them for a mess of reasons. 3 years since I've cut contact with them. Physically, I was a fairly androgynous guy growing up. Very short, skinny, baby-faced, twinkish. As far as my personality went, I was masculine. My parents were open-minded and didn't disallow me from exploring feminine things, but I never felt any discontent with being a boy. Mostly male friends, a small selection of female friends. But I was a very anxious and sensitive kid. I was bullied. I'd been abused and assaulted a few times. Enough to scramble me, sure, but I never saw it as particularly severe. I suppose I'd been appropriately scrambled enough for someone to take advantage of me even as a young adult. I'm impressed with the skills someone can have to completely cast a spell on someone, lure them in, and make them feel both unconditionally loved and completely controlled at the same time. They could tell I was vulnerable. Guess they figured I'd look cute if I was more feminine too. It started small, cross-dressing and role-play here and there. I suppose that was innocent enough. There was a kind of thrill to it. The cross-dressing increased and got more and more drastic. I'll also note that this person was a master at guilt-tripping and gaslighting. The relationship was unhealthy enough already, and I have no idea how I was rendered so empty and voiceless that I agreed to their every whim. Maybe I convinced myself they were my wants too, but they wanted total control. Total means total. Eventually, they wanted me to take hormones, just a little though. Always began small. I don't blame the doctors. They weren't like the ones who urged transition. They kept bringing up the risks. What if I regret it? Seemed they were trying to hold me back. My family reacted similarly, but they gave in. They wanted what they thought would make me happy. They didn't do this to me. I was an adult. Fate threw all the warning signs it could at me, but I was too far gone. How far did I go? The whole way. It took place over a course of years. More hormones. Only women's clothes in my wardrobe. Legal female name and gender marker, female pronouns, breast implants, facial feminization surgery, bottom surgery. I had this weird sense of unease a good portion of the way, but everything felt superficial. Nothing felt real yet. I told myself it was probably reversible. Recovering from bottom surgery was definitely when it hit me. That's when it felt real. That's when it felt irreversible. Effectively, it was. Eventually, my partner and I had a final falling out, not entirely because of this whole ordeal by itself. There were many reasons, but they also took note to tell me that they weren't attracted to me anymore. The thrill used to be turning a man into a woman, but that process was over now. All that was left was the result. They were not attracted to women. They couldn't read me as male anymore. The relationship ended, and all I had left was a body and name that made me feel like I was living in some sort of state of altered reality, some sort of dream. Was any of this real? Did it happen? Am I real? I don't have their financial support anymore. I was working class to begin with. I don't have the money to reverse all this. My family is aware. We're working hard to save money and find time to start the reversals. I need my chest fixed. I want my male name back. I want my legal gender to be male again. All of it costs time and money. Lots of both. I have no sex life, no dating life. I'm falling apart at the seams. I'm lonely. I keep having nightmares. I don't feel like a person anymore. I don't feel desirable. I can only get through a day by completely ignoring my body, but my legal documents all have reminders smeared all over them. I dress masculine now. My hair is short again. I like being masculine. That's what comes naturally to me. Genuine, non-fetishistic femininity has its benefits too. I believe in balance of those energies. Passing as male again feels like peering into a future where I can finally get out of this nightmare. I used to get angry and hurt when I would be frequently mistaken for a woman in my attempts to pass as male again. I still do, but now I just feel more resigned than anything. Sometimes trapped. Sometimes it feels like a joke. I really do feel happy for trans people who transitioned and had a positive life turnaround as a result. I see trans women as female. I see trans men as male. It's just that I was never trans, just lied to, manipulated, and destroyed. I was just mistaken. I have no penis. Breasts. I never grew much facial hair to begin with. Slow male development during puberty. People have speculated whether I may have some sort of mild hormonal or intersex variance at birth. Only gay kid in my classes in school. Was I ever really that male at all? I'm a man. I'm a normal man. I'm male. I'm not a woman. I'm not trans. I keep thinking about ending it all. The process of reversing all this takes so long. It'll take forever. It's so expensive. I'm not patient enough. I'm going insane. I want my life back. I want myself back. My parents now say to me I'll always be their son. It feels like a breath above the water. But I don't trust this world to give me the same compassion as them. I don't know where I'll go from here. I have aspirations and things I want to do, but it feels impossible with this massive roadblock in the way. I want to live. I like being alive. The inescapability of it is what makes me want to die. Antidepressants and therapy can only do so much. This isn't an anti-transition rant as much as it's a self-preservation rant. Don't sell your soul for approval or security. If you see a red flag in a partner, run. Please. Take care of yourselves. You deserve to be respected and loved, genuinely.
Here are some of the responses to the post. The link to the original post will be pinned in the comment section down below.
You are not alone in this. I have read many threads, with guys boasting of cracking the eggs of ex-partners. One guy got 3 of his partners to transition. Ex-partners, they transition them, then leave them. It's totally sick. Hypno-sissy porn forces men to become hyper-feminine sex slaves. Very handy for other men to use. Women on My Partner is Trans subreddit are complaining that their husband's transition is too slow and pushing their partners forward. I think these deluded women believe that their partner's problems will be over once transition is complete. Women celebrating that their girlfriends are having mastectomies. Partners grooming other partners to accept their loved one being surgically mutilated. LGBT groups are pushing butch lesbians into transitioning and demanding femme lesbians accept trans women as sexual partners. Schools are grooming children to transition. No one chooses to transition. It takes the permission of government laws, the complicity of therapists, doctors, nurses, and society to actually allow this mutilation to happen to people. You are in a position where you can save the lives of other young men by staying alive and speaking out. Getting the word out that sick bastards are using transition for partner abuse is important. There are men on this sub that you could work with, write articles with, and support each other. And you can make a life. You would benefit from therapy with a domestic violence and sex abuse therapist to help you get past the abuse and help plan your future. I don't know what county you are in, but surely we can help you raise funds for your breast removal. Do you know how much it would cost? Some regions have funds or grants to help people with medical costs. You can use testosterone to restore your male body. There are several men on YouTube who have married female partners. No doubt there are homosexual men who would as well. Dicks are not important to everybody, and plenty of guys are impotent. And believe it or not, some married men are getting castrated. There are a wide range of prosthetics, Fake penises. Women use them to pee standing up and for sex. Sounds pretty handy if you ask me. Phalloplasty doesn't sound great to me, but women are getting it. I'd wait till surgeries are better myself, but you can always look into it. Affection, skin contact, cuddling, stroking, oral sex, sex toys. And mostly, being a good friend, companion, life partner. This is what is healthy in a relationship. You can still have this in your future. Your old relationship was about sex and abuse. Your future is yours to live. You're not losing your mind. You've survived an abusive relationship. And working through the wreckage feels like losing your mind. I think of it as walking over hot coals. Awareness in therapy hurts, but when you get through it, you get the capacity to be happy. Happy with the small things, the capacity to make healthy decisions. You have PTSD and need proper therapy and treatment for that as well. There is a life for you. Take one step at a time, and it is yours.
Male isn't who you're attracted to. It's not how you act or what you wear. It's your biology, which doesn't change. You're male, you always have been, and you always will be. You sure did fuck things up here, but there's more to life than sex and dating. Cultivate your other interests, get an education and a career, get into the gym, and lift your ass off. Get some goals that aren't detransition related. Devote yourself to them with single-minded purpose. Your life is chaos right now. Take control and impose order on it. You don't need a penis or a flat chest to do any of these things. Self-control, self-discipline, and self-confidence are what you need. The gym can help with that. Ultimately, you can only control your own feelings, opinions, and actions. Reframe your life in your own mind. There could be a lot of it left, and it sounds like you desire to live it. There is therefore no sense in clinging to regret over things you cannot now change. It will only rob you of opportunities for future improvement. Sorry if this sounds tough, but the only way through is forward. You have your life. Now, live it well.
This Reddit thread was created 5 years ago, and since then there have been no posts made by this detransitioner from this account. I hope he is still alive and found a way to cope with his reality post-medical transition. We may never find out what happened to him. Please, let me know what you think down in the comments below.